Yo, welcome back to the channel. My name's Remora Jewel, and today we're gonna pick right back up where we left off for the Wytchwood series. So the last time we just finished the bear quest, we finished the snake. So now we're going to do the leech. So let's head on over. So, visit the sick house west of the swamp. So, that has to be further over here. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm glad that I can still at least walk fast enough past these things to where they're not gonna hit me as soon as I am too close. Weird little things. I want that moon orb though. That's really pretty. They don't deserve it. I want it. Oh no. Oh no. I don't like that. Headstone. Blank, though it certainly seems like someone was buried here not too long ago. Sick house nurse, overworked and underappreciated, and with such a nasty commute through the swamp. Damn. Most service workers understand that. Hold on now. This sick house is full to the brim and festering with disease. Don't you know there's a deadly plague going around? A plague, you say? This is the first I've heard of it. Oh, it's terrible. It affects the young and old, the healthy and infirm alike. We're so swamped with patients, I can barely catch my breath. So what are you doing out here? Shouldn't you be inside tending to the ill? We've just got so many bodies piling up. Someone has to bury them before they spread the sickness further. She drops her voice to a whisper, looking ashamed. It's gotten so crowded I've had to dump some in the swamp. That seems unethical. But don't worry, the leech is inside working her miracles on the other patients. They couldn't be in better hands. I think the leech is spreading the sickness. The leech? That's the doctor of this place? The best in the land. I don't dare think about how much worse it could be without her skills. I need to speak to her. I'm checking up on someone who came through here. Sorry, I cannot in good conscience allow a person of your, years to enter such an infectious space without a proper inoculation. But with all the patients, we're low on medicine and I'm afraid I don't have any to spare. Bah, what's a simple booster shot made from anyway? There's plenty of medicinal ingredients right here in the swamp. I'll go get them myself. Well, it's a pretty basic prescription. If you bring me the components, I'll be able to mix and administer it. Then you can go inside. I'll need 3 milligrams of bug ichor extract, 5 grams of toxic thistle powder, and some lazy grass to numb the pain. Hey! And I got everything! Let's go, baby! Hey! You place a sloshing jar of ichor in the nurse's hands. She inspects it suspiciously, but doesn't ask where it came from. You snap off a few spiny thistles and pass them to the nurse. She is careful not to prick herself on the sharp ends. The nurse takes the dried grasses you have been so careful to keep intact, and immediately crushes them into powder. The nurse nods at you, gathering all the ingredients into a small hand-sized mortar. You hold your breath as she mashes everything into a slimy, sticky liquid. Not the most pleasant stuff, but I can assure you it beats growing lumps where no lumps should be. Speak for yourself. One can never have enough lumps. The nurse shrugs at you, sucking up the bubbly mixture into an oversized syringe. She gestures for you to hold out your arm. After stabbing into your flesh several times, she fails to find any veins with the point of the needle. Sorry, you seem to have some strange physiology? Bah, give it here, I'll do it. You seize the injector and jab it into your arm without further fuss. A cool sensation climbs into your fingertips. You doubt the medicine will have any effect, but at least it should make the nurse happy. There, I feel much better. Can I go inside now? Oh, yes. Yes, of course. You should be immune to the plague for the time being. Just be quick, the leech is very busy. This poor lady. I'm gonna go steal from y'all, though. Hey, excuse me, there's a box. Why can't I have the box? Come on. That's bullshit, but Oh, no! The doctor slithers from one patient to another, checking off little boxes on a clipboard. From under her wide-brimmed hat, she appears to notice you enter, but pays you no mind. You must be the leech. I was hoping you could help me find one of your patients. Do you have the symptoms? Crackling of the bones, oozing eyes, skin rot, perhaps a yellow liver? Let's get you examined. The leech extends her toothy snout, prodding your body and searching for some hidden malignancy. You slap her away with a swift palm. If it isn't sickness you're looking for, you won't find it on me. Oh, if it's sickness you're looking for, you won't find it on me. My dear, we're all sick with something. Whether it's a broken heart or a broken arm, we all suffer in one way or another. You peer through her tightly wrapped garments and see a darkness underneath. Despite the warmth of her words, there's a sense of hunger and urgency in her tone. I am here to heal, to mend, to put all of your troubles at ease. Now tell me, what ails you? I told you already, I'm in perfect health. I'm here to find someone, a man who came through here with a sprained ankle. Half the patients who come to me have a twisted this or a broken that. Before the pox sets in, that is. Can you be more specific? What does he look like? Oh, I'm not sure. Well then, how do you expect me to help you? Come back to me when you know what you're looking for. You look about the sick house at the coughing, wheezing veteran souls. Perhaps some of them will be able to identify the missing husband? I miss that man with the beard. You don't know where that short fellow got to, eh? Wait, how do I get over there? Okay. Can't find the short guy? Sorry, I can't help you. You don't know where that short guy fellow got to? I think the beardy guy, it's the bearded guy you're looking for. Okay. This patient just stares into the distance, silent. Oh. Let me steal y'all stuff. Leave me alone. Sleeping. Looks like they could use the rest. A husband? Yeah, he had a darker complexion than me. Crimson wine. Thick, dark wine that clings to the inside of the bottle. Deduce a description of the husband from the sick folk. Well, do you have any better idea who exactly you're looking for? Shorter than most. I'm going to need a bit more than that. Darkened features. Narrowing it down, give me something else. full beard. Ah, yes. I remember that poor man now. He came in with a swollen ankle, but on his journey through the swamp he must have contracted the plague. His condition declined rapidly, I'm sorry to say. In the end, there wasn't much I could do for him except make him comfortable. He's dead? What sort of sick house is this anyway? My condolences, really. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to doing what I can for the living. At least tell me where his wife might collect his body. The nurse outside seemed to be having trouble keeping track of them all. I'm sorry, that information is reserved for the next of kin. Judging by your physique, I wouldn't say you are related to the deceased in the slightest. The doctor turns away from you to prepare vials of medicine. Better return to the old woman in the swamp with the bad news. Damn! Lady, you killed him. You absolutely killed him. Nah. Ain't no damn way. Ain't no damn way. She killed him and turned him into something that she could eat. Nasty little thing. Let's go this way. Ma'am, I'm sorry to say, but that lady killed your husband. Is this going the... Yeah, it is going the right way. Do you have news of my husband? He should have been back from the sick house by now. I'm sorry to say that your husband has passed away. The leech said he fell ill with the plague. Rather than grief, an expression of mild annoyance crosses the woman's face. Oh, what a nuisance. You don't seem that upset by the news. Well, he was getting on in years. It was bound to happen sooner or later. I just didn't think it would be from some measly plague of all things. So, where is the fool now? I'm not sure. The leech wouldn't tell me, but her assistant mentioned having to dispose of the dead out in the swamp. Ah, brimstone and bandersnatch. I know I'm already in your debt, sister, but can I ask you for another favor? I suppose I've already stuck my foot in this mess. What is it? There's an old circle of power just west of here. It served me well in my younger years, and I expect it's still got some juice left. I need you to dust it off and fire it up again. I'd go do it myself, but by the time I get there, my poor husband's body would have already been reduced to warm fat. What am I to do with this circle? You're a knowledgeable lass. The engravings on the obelisk should explain the rest. Okay, this is the obelisk. Have I already passed it before? This. I don't think I've gone down that far. Alright, let's see. Oh, this. Okay, interesting, interesting. You brush off a blanket of thick moss and lichens from the ancient magical pattern carved into the earth. The essence of power wakes at your touch, bringing slight warmth to your fingertips. 4 black stone obelisks? I'm not sure what these are called exactly. Surround the ritual spot. You'll need to scrape off more overgrown decay to read the runic lettering engraved on the surface. Oh, okay. The northern obelisk calls for proof of the dead. The afterlife is nothing if not bureaucratic. A death certificate from the leech would fit the bill. Okay. The eastern obelisk yearns for the tooth of a dragon. I have that! You haven't seen any real dragons in years, but who knows what's out in the swamp. I have that. You drop the sharp reptilian fang into the stone basin with a heavy clunk. It spins like a top, emitting a high-pitched whine before shattering into fine white dust. The southern obelisk asks for a collection of bodily fluids to breathe new life into an unliving vessel. Okay. And then this one. The western obelisk requires a source of undead animation. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Well, I can already craft this, which is good. Liquid life as proven by modern medicine science. Okay. And you, I need you. There we go. Necromantic charm. Little more than a lucky trinket for those who would raise the dead, but sometimes that's enough. Oh, and it needed, the pumpkin bones. Haha. Ha 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 ha. You place the token of undeath into the basin. It flutters like a candle for a moment before the shadowy umbra of the obelisk snuffs it out. Interesting. You fill the bowl with an offering of anatomic liquids. The fluid slowly disappears as if being drained by some unseen thirst until only the wet residue remains. Ew. Alright, and to the sick house I go. Give me his death certificate, bitch. The shadowy doctor prowls among the cots, eyeing the weakest patients with a dark hunger. She snaps a quivering tentacle at you as you approach. Not a step closer. Who knows what sort of disgusting maladies you might be carrying? Yes, I'm a pox-ridden wretch, I know. But I need a death certificate from you. Specifically of the short-bearded man we spoke about. His wife is in no condition to roll her chair through the swamp, so she asked me to collect it for her. I don't simply give out death certificates to anyone claiming to be someone's aunt, grandmother, or friend. This is a legitimate corporate operation. No, it's not. She turns her back to you and rummages through a nearby medicinal closet. Now, where has that serum gone to? Don't tell me we're already out. What's the matter? Out of stock? It's a shame you don't have the time to go out yourself. She tenses at your continued presence. What are you getting at? Medicine for the death certificate. I think that's a fair trade, don't you? You would barter when people's lives are on the line. Fine. You'll have your paperwork, you filthy degenerate. Yes, I am. Clearly too angry to speak with you, she shoves a list of required medicinal supplies into your hands. Okay. Skeeter Snoot, and I need more poultice. Okay. The leech takes the wings with a surprisingly delicate touch and lays them out carefully along the surface of a clear shelf. Okay. So I can go ahead and make the poultice now. Okay, and then I need 2 Skeeter Snoops, I believe? Yeah. The leech stuffs the poultice into an unsanitary-looking cabinet without a second glance. God damn. Alright, so I'm gonna have to like try and time that perfectly so that I can get that done in one shot. Yeah, I'm not concerned with you. There's one there, but I'd rather go up to the one over here where there's like 3 of them at once and try my luck with that. Perfect for your asses, yes. Yes! Oh wait, no, not you. Wait, no, stop. Get away from me. Alright, so now back to the plague house. Because it's not the sick house, it's the plague house. Inspects the barbs before placing each of them carefully into a velvet-lined container alongside other excruciating-looking instruments. I've run your errand. Now I really must insist on that death certificate. There's no need to get prickly. I have your papers right here. The leech extends her moist arm and thrusts a poorly written note into your hands. You shake the mucus from the paper and try to decipher the loopy, illegible scribbles. You're not even sure that the leech spelled the poor man's name right, but you suppose it's better than nothing. Next time I need a doctor's note, I'm better off forging the signature myself. You crumple the note into a tight roll for safekeeping. These poor people. She is eating these people. I know she is. She has to be eating them. Alright, let's get back to the old lady. Well, actually, no. We don't have to get back to the old lady. Just down here. Swamp air has made the paper of the death certificate soft and damp. As you drop it into the bowl, it decomposes before your eyes until nothing is left. With the final offering accepted, the obelisks surrounding the circle begin to hum. You hear a strange melody playing through their discordant tones. The carvings on the ground burn with renewed energy, driving away the overgrowth. You're quick to step away as you feel a vacuous force pull at the circle's center. I suppose that's done the trick. Let's see what the writing has to say for itself now. You rotate your head to read the glowing letters of the edge of the circle. Place the vessel of the deceased, yada yada, recite the evocation of the promatives, blah blah, apply the canopic ointment. Right, seems straightforward enough. All I need to do now is go fetch the body of that poor fool husband. He should be here in the swamp somewhere. Damn. Oh, I know that the corpses are up here. Ugh, this must be where the nurses have been dumping their surplus of corpses. I'll need to take a closer look at each one to find the right fellow. Similar perhaps, but not the right body. This isn't it, unfortunately, nonetheless. This one isn't the right one. Not the husband, this one. This poor soul doesn't fit the description. Not this one. Where on earth is that stinking body? You'd think I'd be able to find him along the dead here. You watch a particularly bloated fly land on a rotting hand protruding out of its muck. Its distinguishing proboscis probes at the weathered flesh. Ew! Two globular red eyes slowly unglue themselves and swivel to boggle at the insect. A huge slime-covered tongue lashes out and pulls the hapless fly into a gaping, toothless maw, along with most of the sunken corpse. Well, I suppose that explains where my misplaced man went. Speak to the Frog King in the swamp. Where the fuck is the Frog King? Oh, you. Okay. Disgusting. Much larger than conventional witchy familiar. Yeah. Oh, can it be? Has a lovely young morsel wandered its way into my palace? You call this filthy bog a palace? He throws his head back, shaking the swamp with burbling laughter. Smaller frogs and newts scurry out of the way to avoid being crushed by his enormous bulk. Wouldn't you? This place is a veritable bounty of insects, and my subjects have such healthy appetites, so they will all grow big and strong. I'd eat you too, but that head of yours looks much too hard. I prefer my food to be nice and tender. Look. You wouldn't perchance have seen an old man pass through here, have you? About yay high, full beard, deadish. The frog taps his fingers against a log, grinning an impossibly large grin. Oh yes, I do believe I've seen the chap. He had such a delectable aroma and fall up the bone ribs. But I'm sorry to say that once something goes down the hatch, it never sees the light of day again. We'll see about that. I'm sure I can come up with some just desserts for you. The frog rolls his eyes around and around as if daring you to try something. Bet, I got you, homie. I can make those. I just need another newt. I need another meat steak too. Come on, where's a rock? There is a rock. Or did it come from... I think it actually came from one of those trees. Let me double check though. I'm pretty sure it came from one of those trees. You. But let's make that now. Alright, you piece of crap. Cough it up. You wrap a juicy-looking grub around the medicinal tablets and offer it up to the Frog King. Your Majesty, I really must find the whereabouts of that gentleman. Perhaps this small tribute will persuade you to loosen your tongue. The frog gulps down the tantalizing meal without a thought. Ah, a delectable gift. Thank you, my pretty. Now, I already told you where... His nostrils flare for a moment, then he sneezes, sending specks of wet mucus flying. The frog's throat suddenly expands, filling up with gas. The belch that erupts from its lips resonates so loudly that the entire swamp ceases its buzzing. You avert your eyes, but the noise and smell of the frog's explosive eruption almost knocks you off your feet. Great, Linda's ghost. What a stench! The frog wobbles on his legs, looking thoroughly emptied. He teeters before rolling his huge body back into the swamp with a thunderous splash. You spot the slippery body of the husband floating in the bog water. Luckily, he seems to be missing some bits and pieces, so he should fold up quite nicely. With some snapping and squeezing, you manage to get him down to a transportable size. Stuff him in your satchel. Ew. So gross! So gross! Please get me out of the swamp. It's so gross. Ew. I hate being down here. The circle of power is ready and waiting for its necromantic purpose. With considerable effort, you unfold the husband's decaying body from your satchel and slap it down into the middle of the circle. Invisible shackles wrap around the corpse's limbs and pull it spread eagle against the ground. Ew. Strange mist rises from the obelisk, casting everything in a sickening green light. Slowly but surely, the corpse begins to levitate off the ground. It rotates to face each obelisk, one by one. Oh, get on with it! I haven't got all day! You give the rotting head a good kick as it passes by you. With a gasp of stale air, the body drops to the ground. Suddenly, it bolts upright. Well, hello there. You caused me a lot of trouble, you know that. The reanimated corpse claws at its throat. Oh, sorry. Wait a moment. Near your feet, you see a disembodied tongue flopping around on the ground like a worm. You scoop it up and quickly toss it into the man's gaping mouth. Though he moves his jaw, his lurching voice seems to emanate from someplace beyond. Murderer! What? I am not. You were quite dead when I found you. No, Leech murdered me. I knew it! I knew she was killing them! He clutches at his shallow chest, as if trying to feel his heart beating. Gave me plague, drained my blood. Leech murdered others. He swings at limp arms towards the body-filled bog. I knew there was some awful stink about that sick house. What sort of doctor infects her own patients? Check her office, find proof. Don't you worry, I'll make sure that parasite gets what's coming to her. But you should head back home. Your wife is worried half to death about you. He turns and looks longingly over his shoulder. You can hear his vertebrae popping. Yes, I late. As he samples into the choking mist, he gives you a crooked nod of thanks. I knew it! I knew that bitch was killing them! I knew it! I knew it! Let's see if we can finish this all in one sitting. While the leech is busy with her patients, you rifle through the contents of the various cabinets in her office. Mostly dried herbs and potions. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. That is, until you notice a suspicious-looking bookcase set against the wall. The books are all fake, just chopped down spines glued to a solid plank. Your fingers trace across the medical titles and quickly find a loose volume. With a click of a switch, the whole bookcase swings open to reveal a secret compartment. Your heart jumps at the sight. Racks upon racks of bottled blood are arranged like fine wines. Each vessel meticulously catalogs the name, description, and age of its source. It looks like that thirsty slug's been sapping the living for years. On a nearby table, you spy a decanter half filled with ruby red liquid. You wonder whose blood it contains. A dash of salt would remind that slimy worm that there's worse things out there than bloodsuckers. Yes, and I already have stuff to make it. Bless. You sprinkle a generous amount of embalming salts collected from the graves of the leech's victims into the decanter. As the salts dissolve into the bloody cocktail, you hear the telltale squelching of the good doctor's approach. What are you doing? Can't you see this is my private office? I already helped you enough, so there's no reason you ought to be here. She hastily shuffles you out of the room. Now get out! This place is only for the sick. You're certainly right about that. You walk just out of sight before doubling back to hide behind a weathered get-well bouquet. You peer at the vexed leech as she slithers around her office, checking every cabinet and locker for tampering. She mutters something expletive about the nosy old woman. About nosy old women. Satisfied, she sighs with relief and reaches to pour herself a glass from the tainted decanter. That addition of black fever adds a certain nutty quality. Maybe it will pair well with an infusion of peat moss palsy in the next batch. She takes a sip, waiting just a moment before throwing her head back and guzzling it all down. Lovely, sharp flavor. Full body, too. Suddenly, the leech snaps to attention. Her limbs dart out, withering with uncontrollable gestures. She stabilizes herself against the table as sweat pools on her brow. The decanter shatters against the floor in an explosion of glass. What's happening? The leech spasms as the tendrils of ghostly spirits begin to suck the moisture from her body. You watch as she dwindles in size, shrinking like some horrible raisin. Good. You inspect the mummified worm, pressing it between your fingers lightly. Drained by the very spirit she was supposed to be healing. In your fingertips, you make out the faintest of heartbeats, the soul of the leech. The leech quest completed! Alright, and with that, we're going to end this episode right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, as usual, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out a small channel like myself. And with the next episode, we're going to finish it up with the ox. Yeah, I think that's the last little bit. Actually, no, we have more souls to collect, but these were just the first 4. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.